Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter Talk. This is episode 7, and I'm glad to introduce our new guest. Say hello to a fangirl of Fairy Tale. She's known around Twitter as a Juvia fangirl, and that's what I would presume we're going to talk about today for a while. So say hello to Jay Fangirl. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm fine, and you?
Doing fine too, thanks. First of all, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here.
No problem. I'm very glad to be able to talk about fairy tale.
Yeah, and so are we, so let's just get right into it. How did you become a fan of the series?
It was in 2017 because of my cousin, because she was crazy about fairy tale, and so she said to me that I have to start fairy tale. And at the beginning, I was very upset because I didn't watch any animated series, and it was the first one. And then I watched the first episode and the second one, and I was like, it wasn't that good, so I was upset. And then I watched the third one, and I never stopped. and I and now I'm crazy about this universe, and I really love it.
That's pretty cool. So what was it about it that really interested you the most?
At the beginning, I started to watch a fairy tale because of Gray and Jubia, because I'm a fangirl and I love to ship a character together. And I wanted to see how their interaction will be, and how they will become a couple, because I hope that they will in the future. And so I started because of them, and but I fall in love with other. I fell in love with the other characters and the universe in general. I really love fairy tale because I think that it's when we watch it, we are in a good mood, and it's very a positive manga, I think.
So given your name, I'm assuming that Juvia is your favorite character?
Yeah, yes, she is. She's my favorite character because I really love the fact that she's very positive as well, and I see myself in her because she's like very passionate, very friendly with people. She cares about other people. Um, she's like a good person, and I hope that I will have the same evolution that she had, because at the beginning she wasn't very that confident about herself or about her feelings, and then she grew up and became someone more confident, and that's why I love her, because I think that she had the one of the greatest evolution.
How do you feel about Gray as a character?
Um, I really love him as well because he's kind of like a bad boy, and I love this kind of character. Even if he he tried to hide his feeling for Julia or for other people like Natsu, who he really loves him. He's very a good person inside, and he tries to hide it. And I think that is very it's very I don't know how to say it, but it's how I love boys and men in fiction, because it's very they are very cool, and I I don't know. I don't even know how to say how much I love Gray, and why, but I just love him.
Well, don't worry about it. I think other people can kind of infer the context in which you're speaking, so it makes sense. Although on that question, I would like to ask you your opinion about the pairing. It's something that appears once in a while in the series, but it hasn't officially happened yet. Why do you think that is?
I think that pairing is are very important in fairy tale. I think that it is. I think it's the shonen with the most pairing and important in the story. I'm very upset about the end of fairy tale because, like a lot of people, I thought that we would see next generation, um, but now. um, but I think that pairings are very important in fairy tale because they are very important with about the evolution of the character. Like for example, Erza with Jalol. Thanks to him, she had a greatest evolution. Gray as well, and I think that's it's one of the reasons why fairy tale is popular is the pairing because there are a lot of fangirl and fanboy, and we want to see our favorite pairing together, and that's why we follow fairy tale now. I think that it's one of the main reasons why we always watch fairy tale or read fairy tale now.
You mentioned this briefly, but you said popularity. So, how popular is Fairy Tale? Your application mentioned that you're from France. So, what
Yeah,
is the general opinion of Fairy Tale over there?
in France it's pretty complicated because the fairy tale fan they have a lot of fairy tale. There is sorry a lot of fairy tale fan in France, but there is a lot of haters as well. In France, fairy tale is seen as a manga for kids. Uh, some people say that it's a bad manga because of the power of friendship and and the pairing as well. That it's too it's a manga about fan service and it's very criticized here. And when people say that they love fairy tale, they are criticized, and people say that they are a fake manga fan because they have a bad taste in manga, and it's I think that it's pretty bad to think like that. Like I know that fairy tale is the best manga with because there are a lot of flaws that even me as a great fan I see, but I think that people can like and love fairy tale if they want, even if there is a lot of problem as well.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely goes down to personal opinion at the end of the day, and you can debate one way or the other, but at the end, it's just you like it, great. If you don't like it, fine. And the
Yeah,
idea of it's for kids, and yet there's a lot of fan service that, to me at least, does not necessarily make a lot of sense.
yes, me
Is it
too.
a juvenile manga, or is it actually supposed to be for older readers based on the fan service? You can't really have it both ways. You have to kind of pick one.
And there is a fan service in every manga. I think so. It's not only a fairy tale.
It's in most.
Yeah.
So on that topic, when it comes to Fairy Tale, what are some of the aspects about it which you do not like?
um, One new aspect I don't like in fairy tale, I think it would be the fact that no one die. um, I don't want people to die because I love all the character in fairy tale, but I think that some character don't die too and don't die, and they came back too quick. Like for example, Julia, even if she's my favorite character, um, she come back one chapter later, and I feel that it was too quick. And other aspect that I don't really like, I think that will be the fandom, because some fans are very toxic, and it's not only fairy tale, because uh, there is a toxic fan in all fandom, but some people are very toxic, and they make us don't like some aspects about fairy tale that we liked before, but we disliked after because of them. And I think that it's not that good.
Yeah, toxic fandoms are definitely something everybody has to deal with when you're part of an internet community. I know I've been a part of them and I've had to deal with them a lot through the Fairy Tale Wiki. But while we're on that topic, when you say you don't really like it, you are also a follower of the Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter. So how did you find the Fairy Tale Wiki Twitter first, and what do you like about it so far?
I think I follow this account thanks to the website, the Wiki Fairy Tale, because I write fan fiction, and I love to see information, because uh, some episodes are I watch episodes. It was before, so some of the information I don't have some information that I want to know. So I watch the website, uh, and then I saw that there is Twitter account. So then I followed it, and I really love the Wiki Twitter, Wiki Fairy Tale, because there is a lot of information. It's very detailed, and I love it, because when I'm a fan, I love to know everything about um, the manga or the books, and so it's good to have some website as a fairy tale wiki.
Yeah, I think so too. And I especially like the part where you mentioned that you were a fan fiction writer. We've had a couple on the episodes prior to this one. And generally, something that tends to be a common thread is that when they're writing the story and they want to know something more in detail about a personal event or about a specific character's personality, the wiki will be the first place that they go to because the information is already there and disseminated. And it's much easier than going through the manga and trying
Yeah,
to find 150 chapters to read to understand it when the wiki has it all there for you right away.
yeah, I agree.
What kind of fairy tale fan fictions have you written so far?
I've written some fan fiction. I mostly write in French, because it's easier to me, because I'm French. But I written some fan fiction fandom events, such as Nalu Gruvia Big Bang. It was last year, I think. It was an event where fan fiction writer and artists were met up together to write a fan fiction with a fine art, and it was so cool, because we can talk with other fans and create something. I don't think that's the best thing with fandom. It's kind we can exchange our what we think about fairy tale, and then in this event we talked about Kruvia and Nalu, um, and it was very cool. And I wrote other things as well. In English, it was uh, a crossover about fairy tale, My Hero Academia, and I love to write about things that Mashima didn't show us. For example, the Juvia's past with Phantom Lord, and things like that.
Yeah, I think fanfiction definitely is a good medium to explore those unexplored areas in a series, especially those parts that happened before it, like what you just said, the Phantom Lord aspect, or the fact that she used to be in a relationship with that guy Bora.
Yeah.
So how long have you been writing fanfiction?
I think 7 years. I started to watch writing for the fandom Harry Potter because I'm a big fan of it. And then, thanks to that, I discovered my passion for writing. Um, and the fact that I want to publish a book someday, I hope so. Um, I started with Harry Potter and with other fans later.
What kind of book would you like to publish?
I have many ideas, but I would like to publish saga like Harry Potter with a fantasy and things like that with magic because I really like this aspect in universe. Like I don't really like books or series who take place in real life. I really love to escape from real life and to see something magical, and that's the reason why I love fairy tale too, because there is magic and there is a world we can dream of, and I think that it's the my favorite aspect of a fictional universe.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense, especially when you don't have to blend it in with real life the way Harry Potter does. You can set it in its own world and you can make up all the rules yourself.
Yeah.
So you touched on it briefly, but you mentioned that you wrote a crossover between Fairy Tale and My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
So is that one of your other favorite manga or anime?
Yeah, I really love My Hero Academia as well. Um, I started last year, sorry, and I really love it because it's as fairy tale. It's very, it's it made me a dream. I love superheroes. Like I love Marvel and DC Comics, and I love superheroes, and so My Hero Academia is um, the best mix of everything that I love: manga, magic, superheroes. So I think that it's one of the greatest manga um, this year. I really love it because the character are very good as well, and there is a lot of good. Um, the character are well written, and it's so it's good.
Yeah, I'm somebody who's watching the anime, so I definitely agree with you on a lot of things. I do think it's a very well written series with well done characters and an interesting plot overall,
Yeah.
and a unique take on the superhero genre, because that's not something we normally saw much of in anime.
I agree.
So, what are some of your other favorite anime and manga? You just mentioned as well that you're a fan of DC and Marvel, so I'm actually interested in talking about that. But keeping it to the anime and manga section, what are some of your other favorite series?
I really love shoujo as well, like Fruit Basket. I really love it. IQ, it's not a shoujo, but uh, um, I love Eden Zero as well, like the new Mishimas manga. Um, Sailor Moon, I really love it, even if it's old. I still watch it and love it. Um, I started Demon Slayer because a lot of people love it, so I started it. And I have to watch other animated who are very famous, like Naruto. I watched it when I was a kid, but I completely forget it, so I have to start it again. But I love, in general, all the most popular manga.
Yeah, definitely a lot of titles in there that I've watched myself. I admit I haven't read Fruits Basket, although I know it's pretty popular, and I would assume that it's relatively good because a friend of mine is also a big fan of it. and we just had a Haikyuu fan on here last week, so it's interesting to see that there are a lot of others there as well.
Fruit Basket is very good, and IQ as well.
Do you prefer anime or do you prefer manga?
It depends of the manga. Like for example, Fairy Tail. I think that I prefer the manga. In with the last season was very strange with animation, so I love and I prefer the manga. But for IQ, I prefer the animated because I don't really like the drawing. And My Hero Academia, I love both. So it's very depends of the universe and the manga, I think.
Yeah, it always changes depending on who's making the manga, who's making the anime, and how it looks. So you mentioned Eden Zero as well. That's Mishima's new series.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about that? How do you like that series?
I like that series because it's Mashima and I love all his universe. Um, like I said before, I love his because they are all positive, even if there are bad thing happened. It's always positive, and I want to see something positive. So I love Eden Zero for the drawing. They are very good because it's Mashima. I really love character. Even people say that they are the same as Fairy Tail. I don't. I disagree because I think that they have their own personalities, and even if some character have some qualities and flaws in common with Fairy Tail character, I think that it's like in every shonen and not only a Fairy Tail, and we have to we don't have to forget that it's Mashima, so it's normal. And I really love the universe because it's very something new to see some manga with in space, and I I really want to say how Mashima will hand this, and how I hope it will change. It will change the bad things that was with Fairy Tail, like the person who nobody die, and make better in DMZ. I don't know if what I said is clear. Sorry.
No, I think I understand what you're saying. That what the things you don't like about Fairy Tail, you're hoping that he will do them differently with
Yeah.
Eden
Well.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Of course. Are you interested in an anime adaptation for this series?
Oh yeah. I'm very interested because I love the manga and I really love the music in Fairy Tail. So I hope that there will be the same composer in Eden Zero. And I think that even if the manga is good, is not the same with animated because there is music, voice, and the emotion is clearer in animated than manga.
Yeah, that's something we discussed last week, and I definitely see where you're coming from. So I think that makes perfect sense if you're looking forward to an anime adaptation.
And I hope animated adaptation of Fairy Tail 100 Quest as well.
Yes, let's talk about that next. Are you reading the Fairy Tail 100 Quest series?
Yeah, of course.
How do you like it so far?
Yes, even if at the beginning I was upset because I think that it was too much, and that because the main plot of the 100 quest is the dragons, and that
Mm-hmm.
the fact that there is 7 dragons, I think. I don't even know.
5.
Oh yes, 5. Sorry, 5 dragons who are the biggest and the greatest dragons, and I think that it's strange because Acnologia was the main antagonist in Fairy Tail, and it was the greatest and the most powerful dragon in the world. And here we see that there is 5 other dragons who are even more powerful. So it's like Fairy Tail was not really. I don't even know how to put words on my thought, but it was like fairy tale was and I don't know how to say it, but like Agnologia wasn't the main antagonist, and fairy tale was just the beginning, and 100 quest was sorry, I don't know how to say that, but
No, I think I understand what you're saying. It that when you introduce these five dragons right now that are said to have the power of gods, that it makes Acnologia and the rest of the fairy tale series seem inconsequential by comparison.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I certainly understand where you're coming from. In fact, that's a common criticism I read earlier on,
Yeah,
that if these dragons existed, why didn't Acnologia in the first place try to hunt them down?
yeah,
Because it was said that they're probably all equally strong,
yes,
and
and
it would be his quest because he wanted to eliminate all dragons.
yes, and that was why I was upset. But then I saw that there is a lot of trivia things. So I really love.
That is true. There's quite a bit of that.
Yes, I think that the 100 year crest is like spin-off to make pairing canon, and to make the fan happier, because I think that all the fans were disappointed after the last chapter of Fairy Tail, and I think that Mashima wants to make us happier with this 100 year quest.
I think that's definitely possible, and it looks like, from what I've been reading so far, that seems to be what's happening.
Yeah, and I really yeah.
So let's talk about Hiro Mishima's first series. Have you read Rave Master?
I started to read it. I read the two first volume because I want to buy it because I love to have collection. So uh, it's difficult to find it because it's old, and it's expensive as well. So I have to buy a volume all months. So it will be very difficult to have them all in a short time, but I will try. And I love this series because I see some thing in common with Fairy Tail and even Eden Zero now, and the thing that I love Mashima's work. So I think that I will like Rev Master, even if I know how the series ends, and it's a thing that I'm upset about. That I know the series, but for now I really love it.
Yeah, for me personally, Rave Master is actually my favorite
Yeah.
series by Hiro Mashima. I think that the manga, I've never seen the anime, though I heard the anime was pretty bad, but I think the manga was fantastic, and I enjoyed it much more than Fairy Tail or what I have read of Eden Zero.
I hope I will love it as well.
I think you will. I think that some of the issues that you mentioned with Fairy
Yeah.
Tail, some of them will be corrected with Rave
Yeah.
Master.
I hope so. That I read Heroes, so it was crossover with Rev Master, Eden Zero, and Fairy Tail, and I really love it. And I love the character with the character in Rev Master, so I think that I will love it for sure.
I certainly hope that you do. And speaking of other things you like, you briefly mentioned that you're a fan of superheroes, like in the DC and Marvel shows or movies. So why don't we talk about that for a little bit? What are your favorite?
Iron Man, I really love him. He's so cool, and in the movies, so in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the actor is so good as well, and I really love this kind of character in man. Like, he's ambitious, and he know that he knows that he's good, and I really love this kind of character. He's sarcastic and things like that. I love him, and I love I love a lot of people. I love Star-Lord. I really love him because he's funny as well. Loki, because I love antagonist as well, even if not he isn't the antagonist now. And I love Thor as well. And but I love the movies. I think that they are one of the greatest movies in the last year. And in DC, I love Harley Quinn because the last movie, Birds of Prey, I watched it and it was very good. I fell in love with this movie because it was so good and with greatest woman. I really love it.
So it definitely sounds like you're a movie fan. So have you read much of the comic books?
I read some. I read one of Harley Quinn, but like I said later, I'm a person who love to have collections, so it's difficult to buy it because it's very expensive in France, and I don't like to read on internet. Uh, and there is a lot of comics, so it's difficult to read it. I think I don't have much time, but I will try one day to read some comics because I think that it's important to a fan of the movies to read the comics.
Yeah, so on the topic of the movies, clearly you've demonstrated that you've been watching a lot of them, especially the Marvel movies. So are you excited for the ones that they've got scheduled
Yeah,
next?
yes, I'm very excited. Even with the series, they will make a series about Loki. And I really love him, so I can't wait to see it. I want to see the new heroes. If I'm upset because Iron Man is dead. Spoiler. But I'm really
That's true, but it definitely sounds like there's a lot more stuff coming up. I mean, you mentioned the Loki TV
yeah.
series, and they've also got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They've got the WandaVision TV series coming up, and they've got plenty more movies as well, like the next Spider-Man movie.
Thor, I really love Thor, and I love the Taika Waititi, who is the director of the movie, and I really loved Thor Ragnarok. It was one of my favorite Marvel movies. So I
Mine
can't
too.
wait to see. Oh yeah, good taste. It was one of the greatest, I think, and I can't wait to see the next one. I'm sure it will be good as well.
Yeah, I think so too. They actually just confirmed that they got Christian Bale, who played Batman in the old Dark Knight movies, to be the villain in this movie. So I think that'll be really interesting to watch.
Oh yeah, can't wait to see it. And even the Black Widow movie because I loved this character, even if she's dead as well. The movie, I think it will be cool, and it's not. It will. It's soon, I think.
Oh yes, it's just a few months away. Well, actually, I think it's next month now that it's March.
Yeah. Oh, even May. Well,
I was under the impression that it was April, but I might be mistaken.
I don't remember.
Either way, I think it's going to be a popular movie because people have been wanting a Black Widow movie for quite a while. And even if it's late, it's still good to have it.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, it was also good to have you on here. So, do you have any other things you'd like to talk about?
I have so many things that
Feel free. This is entirely an open forum for you now.
I don't know. I have so many things to. I am. No, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you can just mention anything. Do you want to like give a shout out or suggest a suggestion for anybody?
um, Nothing come in my mind now. So I don't know. No, no.
I think we can wrap this up here. Well, I just want to say that it was really great having you on, and I'm really glad that you took the time out of your day to do this, and it was really nice to get to know you a little bit better.
Thank you. It was nice as well, even if I I don't speak very good English. It was good.
I think your English is perfectly audible. I think we will not have a problem understanding you, so well done over there.
I hope so.
Trust me, I've met many people who speak very, very poor English, so I assure you that you're definitely doing fine.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, anyways, again, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Really appreciate it. This is what it's all about, to get to know other fairy tale fans and talk about our common interests and to really get to know each other better. So, just on behalf of the Fairy Tale Wiki and the Twitter project, thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Do you want to just give a final message to all the listeners?
Keep watching Fairy Tale and because it's good, and Eden Zero as well because Mashima deserves some more fame.
Yes, definitely keep watching Fairy Tale, keep reading the series, and also follow us on Twitter and watch us on SoundCloud. But other than that, thank you for being here, and we hope you all have a great day and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
You're welcome.